What would a democracy look like? Well, my own feeling is that thinking about the various kinds of technical ways in which representation can take place don't really carry us very far. Almost because what really matters is what kind of socioeconomic arrangements are there. Now, here we go back to, I think you have to start with something more fundamental. There are plenty of hierarchic relations in society, all kinds, from family to international affairs. I think we should always ask the question, wherever there is such a structure, is it legitimate? And there's a burden of proof. It has to prove its legitimacy. It's not automatically self-legitimating. So wherever there's a structure of authority, domination, hierarchy, patriarchal family, international affairs, anything in between, the question of legitimacy of the structure arises. Sometimes you can justify a structure of dominance, but very rarely. And wherever you can't, it ought to simply be dismantled. And that's across the spectrum. And it can be done in many different ways. So say the feminist revolution of the last roughly generation had a big impact on certain kinds of dominant structures. Okay, that's quite significant. Worker-owned enterprises set the basis up for a different kind of economic and political structure, and they exist. Some of them, in fact, are quite substantial. The Mondragon conglomerate in Spain is, first of all, economically quite successful. It's one of the few parts of the Spanish economy that's going to survive this austerity, devastating austerity policies. But it also is democratic in a way which doesn't show up in method of voting and so on. And I think those are kind of the major factors that have to be looked at. The kinds you mentioned are important, and you could debate exactly how it could be done, but I don't see how any complex system can avoid some sort of representative democracy. We just can't have a vote on everything, but representatives should be accountable, recallable, subject to constant surveillance and control, and interchangeable. And that does have, there can be negative aspects to that, but I can't see how that much can be avoided.